In a previous video, we have seen that lipids can be classified into two families: structural lipids and storage lipids. Triacylglycerol are the main molecules that form the family of storage lipids in animals. Our goal in this video is to show what makes triacylglycerol so suitable for energy production. You remember that triacylglycerol are very simple lipids made with a backbone of glycerol and 3 fatty acids. In fact, triacylglycerol are often described as fatty acid esters of glycerol. Now, where are triacylglycerol distributed in the body? Most of the triacylglycerol accumulates in specialized cells called adipocytes that are organized in a tissue called the adipose tissue. On a section of this tissue, you can see that triacylglycerol accumulates in an extremely large lipid droplet, so large that it pushes the cytoplasm and the nucleus against the membrane of adipocytes. In immature adipocyte, in cells from the brown adipose tissue, and in other cells that store lipids, for example liver cells, triacylglycerol accumulates in very small and numerous lipid droplets. If we want to understand what makes triacylglycerol such an amazing source of energy, we can compare triacylglycerol with the other main source of energy, which is glycogen. Glycogen is a polymer of glucose units. Now, there are two reasons why triacylglycerol are more efficient than glycogen. First, the carbons in fatty acid are much more reduced than the carbon in sugar molecules. As a consequence, the complete oxidation of 1 gram of fatty acid produces twice as much energy, 38 kilojoules, than the complete oxidation of 1 gram of carbohydrates. The second reason has to do with hydrophobicity. You remember that triacylglycerol are extremely hydrophobic, so they are stored in almost anhydrous state inside the lipid droplets. In contrast, 2/3 of the mass of glycogen is water, which means that at equal mass, triacylglycerol contain much more usable fuel molecules than glycogen. For example, 1 gram of hydrated glycogen produces 6 times less ATP molecules than 1 gram of fatty acid. We can take an example to illustrate how triacylglycerol can efficiently store energy. We can take an individual that would be about 70 kilograms. This individual will contain about 11 kilograms of triacylglycerol and about 250 grams of glycogen. Now we can estimate the fuel reserves expressed in kilojoule in this individual. So triacylglycerol will contribute to 420,000 kilojoules. Protein, 100,000 kilojoules. However, protein are under normal condition not used to produce energy. Glycogen, 2,500 kilojoules. Glucose, about 170 kilojoules. That is for an individual that has a body weight of 70 kilograms. Now imagine that in this individual, all the fuel reserve that is stored in triacylglycerol is now stored in glycogen. You will see an increase of the body weight of this individual by 55 kilograms. That really illustrates how triacylglycerol is an optimum form of energy storage. We can also take an example that connects the usage of triacylglycerol with sustained physical activity. There are birds called golden plover who migrates from Alaska to the southern tip of South America. During their migration, they will fly over open water for about 2,400 miles without any possibility for feeding or resting. So all the energy that is needed for this flight over open water is stored in triacylglycerol that was accumulated before the bird started its migration.
So if triacylglycerol is so efficient for energy storage, why aren't all the energy stores in the body simply triacylglycerols?
Well, there is a benefit in storing energy in glycogen because glycogen can be mobilized very quickly. In case of a sudden need of energy, glycogen is better to produce energy than fatty acid. In contrast, the mobilization of fatty acid is very slow. In a way, we have two sources of energy that are adapted to particular needs. So in conclusion, we have seen that triacylglycerol are very efficient form of energy storage, more efficient than carbohydrates. And they are involved in long-term storage and utilization of energy. Now, triacylglycerol have other functions, for example, insulation and padding. In the next video, we will show how triacylglycerol stored in adipocytes can be used to produce energy.